we're talking about this journey from darkness to light inspired by this painting behind me. So I'm trying to see how can I also link it to the discussions we had the previous 2 weeks, because for those of you who've been with us, you remember that we have been talking about self-knowledge. علامه طباطبایی in Tafsir of Quran mentions a beautiful point. He says the journey of spirituality that we want to be on, we want to become spiritually, we want to spiritually grow, we want to become closer to God. And as we said, closer doesn't mean that we actually get closer to God. No, we want to feel God's closeness more, because God is already closer to us than anything. He says, where does this journey take place? Right? This is a very good question for us to think about. We've heard of this, that, you know, من الظلمات إلى النور, go from darkness to light, being far from God, feeling far from God, to feeling close to God, starting the journey to some point, right? Where does this journey take place? Or in that famous verse of the Quran, إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ, we are going back to God. Where does this going back, where does this going from darkness to light take place? What is the road? What is the path? Because one of the things we know is that it's not any physical place on earth, right? It's not like if I, for example, go from London to another city, I'm going towards God. No, because God is everywhere, right? وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُحِيطٍ. God is surrounding and embracing and muhit, over everywhere. So it's impossible to say that the physical, any physical place is the spiritual path, that going from here to there is going towards God. So if it can't be a physical place that we can go to get closer to God, where is the path? You know, we've all heard of the spiritual journey, the journey towards God. Where is the path for that? Where does that journey take place? Right? علامه طباطبایی in Al-Mizan, and حالا inshallah we'll link that to the hadith of Imam Ali دیگه, because that's our main base for these nights. علامه, using a verse of the Quran, says that the path for that journey is ourself. The idea that you can have a journey within yourself. The path is the self. What, Sheikh? You're making it confusing. The path is the self, but no idea what that means. Okay, let me give you an example of how our own self can be a path for a journey. And let me give you an example from our physical body, right? Let's for a second forget that we're a beautiful soul created by God. وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. Let's pretend we're not a soul. Let's pretend we're this body, which we're not, by the way. Let's pretend this is who we are. Let me show you that even our body can be a path. Can be a path that you can have a starting point and then go forward in a path within your body. How? Well, we all started our life as a little cute baby, right? Well, we're a little cute baby, and then slowly, we grew. Let me just tell you a funny story as well. It's a little bit personal, so don't share it with anyone. This is only between me and you. There's a beautiful, like, you know, like how we have like nursery rhymes. There's one my grandma, God bless her soul, such a beautiful person she was, amazing, top-notch personality. She had made a poem when I was a little child. It's in Farsi, but the translation was something like this: who says he's ugly? He's so beautiful. He's like this flower. And she mentioned the flower. And then when I grew up and I was like a little bit older and I could understand things, people told me, you know what, grandma loved you so much. She made this poem for you. کی میگه که زشته؟ گل بیدمشکه. Why? Who says he's ugly? He's beautiful. And I was like, what? What? Did people say I'm ugly? Why does the poem start with, who says he's ugly? He's beautiful. I'm like, oh. So did she just record that in history that there were some people who said I was ugly as a child, huh? But bless her, that was of course out of her love, and I just love her so much. God, she was really love in person. She was so loving, she was so beautiful, so pure, that the impact of her soul after 2 generations is still there. And everyone who sees my mother, my aunts, even their children, my cousin, it was like, these people are different. Why are they so loving? And it all goes back to that one person. She was next level. And it changed. It changed 2 generations of people. Anyway, so what were we speaking about before we're talking about me as an ugly toddler? The fact that we can have a journey even with our physical body, right? So it starts at a cute baby or an ugly baby, in my case, and then slowly it grows. It becomes I don't know, goes to primary school, then grows, mashallah, it grows so much. Dige, an adolescent and an adult, and then you have to look at some of them like this, mashallah, they grow so much. So you can see that we can imagine a path for that person, right? From being a toddler, they had a path. They went forward, they became a child, then from a child to an adolescent, teenager, adult. Really, that's a path, right? It's from one stage of the journey to another stage, from one stage to another stage. So you can see that even our physical body goes through a journey of turning from one thing to another, from one thing to another. And throughout it, anyone would say, yes, this is the same person. It's just going through a journey. So what is the path of the physical body growing? Like when you grow from a child to an old person or to an adult, where does this journey take place? It doesn't take place anywhere physical. It takes place in you, right? You're the journey, you're the path. So even with our physical body, we can see that our journey in life doesn't take place anywhere. You could be in London, you could be, I don't know, in Qom, you could be in Mumbai, you could be anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. The path is within you. It's within you that you go from a child to an adult to a beautiful, lovely old person with so much experience. So in the same way that in our physical growth, the body is the path, in our spiritual growth as well, our soul, our self is the path. So when they say the spiritual journey of getting closer to God, of feeling closer to God, takes place within us, that's what they mean. In the same way that body goes from a child to a, adolescent, adult, etc., the soul as well can go through stages. And that's what we mean by the journey, right? The soul slowly starts to understand things, starts to have discoveries, right? And one of the main understandings we need before our spiritual journey is paying attention to this fact that in the same way that our physical body grows, our soul also needs to grow. But the difference is our physical body, you don't really need to do much about it, right? The world kind of takes care of you, at least to a large extent, right? When you're a little baby, other people will come and feed you. You'll all be to give you milk or something, right? And your body grows. It's like you can't really fail at that. Yes, of course, you can have issues with your development, etc. You can maybe not get the right nutrition, but the body will grow, right? The body will grow, and it's very difficult, if not impossible, to see someone who's, for example, 20 years has passed, and you look at them and they're like, I'm so sorry, I'm still 10-year old. I didn't manage to go from 10 years old to 11 years old. No, everyone does that, right? From 10, we go to 11, we go to 12, we go to 13, we go to 14. And it's not like, yes, you know what? Masalan, I was born in 1980, but I'm still 20 years old. I just couldn't, I tried my best, but I just couldn't go from 20 to 21. It was so difficult. I failed. No, everyone gets old. Everyone goes through that with the physical body. But with the soul, it's a little bit different, right? It's not like you can leave it there and it will just grow. No, it needs help. It needs our own effort. So that's why you see in a lot of ahadith, the Prophet and the Ahl Bayt would try to wake us up to this fact. For example, there's this beautiful hadith that says, if you want your body to grow, feed yourself, right? Makes sense. If I want my body to grow, feed myself. If you want your soul to grow, feed others. So within me, there are two things. There's a body and a soul. And the way each of them grow is different. The body, for it to grow, it needs to eat. The soul, for it to grow, it needs to help others eat. Give food to people who don't have. The growth of the soul is different to the growth of the body. The soul needs to grow by through love, through loving others, through being kind to others, through being nice, right? So through these ahadith of telling us things like this, food for the body is to eat, food for the soul is to give food to others, right? They try to tell us, see, there's two sides to you, two aspects to you. You beautiful soul, the body is only a small part of who you are. It's just a friend you have while you're here. Then you're going to leave your friend and move on to the rest of the journey. There's a soul. Pay attention to that. You want that to grow too. And in the same way that your body went from a child, etc., I think I said that a million times, the soul as well needs to grow. And so you can have a person who's 60 years old, but they haven't focused much on the soul, so the soul is still very young. The soul is still not aware. And in the same way that for example, a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old baby doesn't know much about what's happening in the world, like you can't talk to a 2-year-old about democracy, about hypocrisy. You can't talk to a 2-year-old about success. There's so many things about the world you just can't talk to a 2-year-old. In the same way, if a soul is young, if a nafs hasn't been growing, hasn't gone to its later stages, there are so many things about the world it just can't understand, right? Why is the world like this? Why was I born? Where is the love of God? How come I can't feel it? Why do I feel separated? Why don't I feel connected? These are the things that the soul, as it grows, slowly starts tasting, and can get to a place that feels God everywhere, looks around and sees God everywhere, sees God's love for the soul everywhere, right? One of the main issues we're having, massive issue leading to all sorts of mental health problems as well, is that many of us don't feel loved in a consistent, reliable way. Even though the most strong form of love is always pouring into our heart, but we just can't feel it, right? And why is that? Because the soul is young. The soul doesn't have experience. Using a metaphor, the eyes of the soul are still like the eyes of a baby. I don't know, for those of you who are parents or have siblings, like little siblings, you must have heard from the doctor that a baby this age cannot really see well. Even their physical eyes can't see. They can't see faces. Then slowly they see vague faces. Then they can see after a long time, then they start seeing the world the way we do, right? So there could be something right in front of them, but they can't see it. Just I think a few days ago, we were discussing with some of Zahra's family that one of the reasons babies really enjoy the peekaboo game. You know the peekaboo game? Like you go like a peekaboo, right? You do, a lot of people do that to babies, like peekaboo, and they really enjoy it. Love, ha ha ha. I remember we used to do that at home too, but in Iran, I think we said something else a lot. In my place, we said duchi, like duchi. You'd come out and say. One of the reasons babies really enjoy that is when you are behind a physical thing, they actually don't know you're there, right? They think you're just not there. You've left, right? So you suddenly come like, ooh, surprise, fun. Where did that come from? So you just hide yourself behind your hand and the baby totally thinks you're gone, right? The baby thinks, yeah, Where are they? They left. No, I'm here. I'm behind the hand. But the baby doesn't know. That's how cute they are. Now, the soul could be the same, right? Imagine your baby is there and you're there right in front of your baby. All you're doing is this. But the baby thinks you're not there. Imagine our soul could be like that too. God's love is right there in shouting in our face. But if the soul is young, if the soul's eyes haven't grown, you can't see what's shouting in your face. And it reaches, Allah, inshallah, in our journey, we'll reach a place where we will look back, as Imam Hussein says in Dua Arafah, you look back and you're like, oh, I was looking for God? How is that possible? Like, He's everywhere, right? How could I not see? How could I not see your love for me? How could I not see your presence? How could I not feel you in my heart? Obviously, because the soul is young. So the journey of spirituality is to slowly take care of the soul and help it grow. It will start seeing things in the world. It will start feeling things in the world. And if you have been with us in the past 2 weeks, one of the things we said the soul doesn't realize when the soul is very young is itself, right? The soul, if it's too young, if it's been neglected for a long time, it may even forget that it exists. And if we forget about seeing God, forget about seeing God's love, we can, if we neglect ourself, our soul, the reality of we are for a long time, we even forget that we have a soul. Not that we have a soul, we are a soul. We forget who we are, and then we just look at what is visible and we identify with that. Imagine, I have neglected myself for such a long time. I forgot I am a soul. I have lost the ability to see myself, so I look outside. I'm like, okay, then this must be me. This body must be me. There's nothing else. I can't see the soul. So I'm like, yeah, this is me. The body is me. Yeah, this is me. Right? And we know that a young soul has this quality, and this is so good for us to have in mind, that it can very quickly attach itself to things. All it needs to think that something is part of it when it has forgotten itself is to be with something for a small amount of time. Those who have, for example, put a fake tooth in their, for example, they needed to implant a fake tooth, right? They've done that. Initially, you have it and you feel like, oh, there's something in my mouth. You know, when you're eating, you feel like a foreign object is in your mouth because it's not your teeth. It's like fake tooth, they put it inside. For the first few days, you feel it. Oh, what is this? Oh, something that you're eating. Oh, you always feel it. Slowly, you don't feel there's any foreign object there. You feel it's part of you. You really feel like it's part of you. The soul has this very, very strange ability to identify with whatever is there for a short period of time. So, what are we saying? This is very important. We're saying when the soul is young, it can't see certain things. One of the things it can't see is itself. It can't see itself. Most of us, we haven't encountered our own soul. We're not aware of it. So we were like, where am I then? Who am I? We look to see, okay, this hand is always there where I am. These cheeks, this is always there where I am. So this must be who I am. I am this. I am the body. And in order to show you how quickly you can identify with something that's not you, this body is not you. This body is not you. I gave the example of a tooth. A tooth, they put it in your mouth. A few days you feel like it's foreign. After, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that teeth is me, right? And slowly, the soul gets deceived as to what it is. It starts thinking this is it. And as a result of this, we will hurt so much in our life. Why? Because if I'm a soul, no one can touch me. No one can hurt me. God says, I'm protecting every one of you in a way that no one can harm you. Right? There are so many verses in the Quran that says the oppression of someone cannot reach the other person. Right? But if I am a body, obviously everyone can harm me. They can slap this, they can shout at this body. Right? This body goes on a Lego, it hurts. Right? And if I think I am the body, I will think I'm hurt. I feel like, oh, I am hurt. Or another example, if I look at another body because I think I'm a body and that body is taller than my body, oh, that body is taller than me. There's another person who's taller than me. I want to be taller. So we get hurt. We feel insecure. We feel like, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Right? Whereas the body is not you. A soul, and for a soul, it doesn't mean to be taller or shorter. These are all qualities of things which we can't be. Right? But if we're the body, if that person is the body, and a taller body may be better than a shorter body. So you start thinking, oh, I want that body. I want body with like that, like thicker, thinner. This part has to be thicker. This part has to be thinner. That part has to be that color. This part has to be this color. I know people getting divorced over this. People getting divorced over this. People feeling so insecure to go start a relationship over this. Right? Because if a person doesn't know they're the soul, they're the body, well, they start comparing the body to other bodies. And people are not mature enough to appreciate that, no, everybody is beautiful. No, they're not. They start comparing and they start making judgments. And one level is to teach people that, oh, don't compare bodies. All bodies are created by God and they're beautiful. But another very faster thing is to even realize, Baba, none of us were the bodies. Why are we talking about the bodies? We're not. But because we've accepted this, we're going to get hurt so much. We're going to feel insecure. The body starts losing its hair. I'm like, oh, I'm going bald. How can a soul go bald? No, you're never going to lose your hair. Why are you tying their confidence to the hair, to the body? That's not you. You are that soul inside. That is it. But slowly, because we can't see ourselves, we keep attaching to things. And it's not just the body, even to our wealth sometimes. To the extent that someone may hit our car, as we gave this example last week. Or imagine we can even identify with our phone. The phone breaks. And I'm like, my phone broke. Ah! Well, so what? It's a phone. It breaks. But I've identified with the phone. When the phone breaks, I get hurt. Right? Imagine. Why is all of this happening? Because we have forgotten who we are. And as a result of that, so much of our judgment in the world is just distorted. So much of it is distorted because it's based on what we're actually not. And I'm just going to have a sip of water if it's okay, and then we'll continue. So, if you remember, the first week, one of the hadiths we read from Imam Ali alayhi salam was Al-Ma'rifatu Nurul Qalb. Imam said, see, there is a type of ma'rifah, a type of understanding, not knowledge in the sense of, for example, reading from a book. No, it's a type of real understanding, something you feel inside. There's a type of knowledge, understanding that when it comes, al-ma'rifatu nurul qalb, it turns a light on. It acts like a light in your heart, in yourself. What did the Imam mean? I think now it's easier for us to understand it. Imam says, see, your soul is very young. It starts to look for itself. It can't see. The more you pay attention to it, the more you start focusing on yourself, it's like a light turns on and the soul then gets to see itself. Right? Al-ma'rifatu nurul qalb. Imam Ali is saying the more you focus, I'm not the body, I'm something else. There is something to me. The more you start getting, curious about this question, slowly a light turns on within you, and slowly you start to realize, oh, there's more to me. And it's very beautiful that, if you remember, we turned the lights off in the room and I said, try to see what's in the room. We couldn't see anything. You remember? I turned the lights off. Maybe if I do this in front of the camera, Imagine the light is off. There's nothing we can see. But as soon as and that's the state of a young soul. It looks within, it can't see. It's like, I have a soul? Where is my soul? I can't see it. But slowly, knowledge comes, light gets turned on. You can look within and find yourself. And initially what you find may be very, very vague. It could be very small, but slowly it grows. In the same way that a baby's vision is first vague and then it grows, right? Like in child psychology books, you even see, مثلا, they show you a photo and they're like, this is how a baby sees the world now, then this is how they see now, and this is how they see it now. And you see it's from something that's so terrible in quality, then slowly it's a person, but it's so vague, it's like, very low resolution. Then, right, in the same way, Imam says, al-ma'rifatu nurul qalb, to see yourself is the same. Slowly, Hassan, you don't even know where to look. I know many people, if you tell them they're a soul, they're like, what do you mean? Where is it? Is it in my head? Is it in my hand? Where do I look? Hassan, you tell them, look within. They're like, how do I look within? Do I open my mouth and look inside? How do I look within? Right? Hassan, we don't even know where to look, but slowly, it becomes, and you don't need to rush yourself. Slowly, it will happen. And you will see, okay, that's who I am. Okay, now I want to take care of this. And you see like something, a small fire is growing inside you, and it's so amazing. It's so amazing because this fire, with it comes so many things. Masalana, as you start understanding who you are not and who you are, you're not the body, you are the soul. Slowly, your insecurities become less and less. It's so interesting. It's like a place you can always go and watch. You see, oh my God, the thoughts from when I used to think I'm a body are coming up, but you go back and you look at them. Oh, look, these are the thoughts for when I thought I'm a body. No, I don't think that anymore. And then you just let the thoughts go. A lot of your insecurities just go away like that. And slowly, you feel like, oh wow, it seems like I'm not alone in here. Every now and then, something comes within. Like you know how sometimes you're in a room, it's warm, and you're feeling a little bit hot, and then a breeze comes in? مثلا someone opens the door, like you're sitting in a cafe, it's so hot, someone opens the door to come in, a breeze of cold air comes in. Slowly, you start noticing these things inside yourself. I was sitting there, inside me, it was so gloomy, I was feeling low, and suddenly a breeze of peace came. And it's a whole world within us. And you realize, oh my God, so my soul has entrance where peace can come through. Oh, I'm connected. Is that how God communicates with me? And then the gift from there, so much happens. So you experience so much within yourself. You're like, oh wow, God can send breezes of peace within me. You feel it, you notice it, you see it coming. So much happens as the soul grows. Okay, I want to mention a few more hadiths from Imam Ali before we end today's session. I've already spoken so much. So far, what have we said? Let's quickly give a summary of what did we say. If you remember, we started the discussion looking at this painting. What was this? Allahu nuru samawati wal arz, right? God is the light of the heavens and the earth. Okay? God is the light. Allahu nuru samawati wal arz. Then I said there's another painting there which you can't see right now, but it says, it's the famous verse, Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu, God is the guardian of those who have faith. Yukhrijuhum min az-zulumat, He takes them out of darkness. And where does He take them towards? Towards light. And we said, see, in our life we're going from darkness to light. What is light? The answer is here. God says, I'm going to take you from darkness to light. From darkness to light. What is light? The answer is here. Allahu nuru samawat. God is the light. So our journey is from a place of darkness, feeling separated from God, to God Himself, to a place of connection to God. Allahu nurun. And we said it's not like now we are far from God, that we're going to get close to God. No, we're always close to God. It's just that now we don't feel it. The soul is young. It doesn't feel close to God. So we're going on a journey of becoming aware that we're close to God. It's not that in darkness God is not there. No, we can't see. Right? So Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur. Now with the discussion we had today, I'm hoping it makes sense for you that even right now God is everywhere. It's just that our soul is young. The eyes of our soul, like the eyes of a baby, cannot experience much, cannot see much. So our journey in life is to slowly help our self grow, our soul grow. And as it does that, it starts feeling things, starts seeing things. And then it realizes that right now, if I'm in the zulumat, I'm like, why has God abandoned me? I'm in so much pain. God doesn't seem to care. God doesn't help. Slowly, your eyes open and you realize every step of the way God was with you. Every step of the way God was helping you. God was trying to get you the best you wanted. And the more you see, the more you'll get drunk in love, because you'll just see there's so much love coming at you from God that you'll just get overwhelmed. It's overwhelming. The journey of seeing the reality of this world is overwhelming, so positive. So beautiful. And so where does this journey from darkness to light take place? Within us. The soul is the path. The soul slowly grows. The self slowly grows, and it starts discovering. So in other words, we'll never get closer to God in that sense. We will become aware of our closeness to God. And the problem for us is not that we're not connected to God. The problem is not that we are not loved by God. No, we don't need to gain any of that. They're already there. It's just we can't feel it. We can't see it. Right? In the same way that when a child, you could be right in front of a child, but when you do this, they think you're not there. And then you come out, say peekaboo, and their heart is filled with joy and surprise. Oh, where did daddy or mommy or auntie came from? Like, I was here. I was all this time here. I just hid myself behind my hand and I came here, right? So our soul is like that too. The only difference is God is not doing like this to us. It's ourselves who have closed our eyes. God is right there. But it's just we've closed the eyes of our soul, right? God keeps telling us, Jawad John, do you want to open your eyes and see me and see how much I love you? I'm like, and we're not ready for it. So the peekaboo, the spiritual peekaboo is not that God holds his hand here. No, the spiritual peekaboo is that the eyes of my souls are closed. And everything is happening right in front of me, but it's just my eyes are closed. And the journey of spirituality is to slowly open these eyes and see, oh my God, God was there all the time. His love for me was there all the time. I'm so loved. I'm so precious. And this is what Imam Ali said, Al-ma'rifatu nurul qalb. This understanding, this self-knowledge, becoming interested in yourself is like a light. Slowly opens your eyes and you can see. You see yourself. Alon, I said, we've forgotten who we are. We are so precious. We are so precious. There's a hadith that says, don't think that heaven is enough for you. No, heaven is small for you. If you look at it, there's a hadith that says heaven is only the price of your body. No, heaven is too small for your soul. Heaven is too small for your soul. Your soul, you. I should stop saying your soul, because you are your soul. You are so precious that heaven is small for you, is nothing compared to you. You're bigger than heaven. Even according to Quran, the only thing worthy of your own soul, the only reward worthy of your own soul is God himself. Heaven would die to have you if you understand your own worth. Right? Heaven is too small. You're so big. Imagine you're bigger than God's heaven, your soul. And slowly, you got to see that. You got to realize how special you are, how important you are for God, how much God loves you. how much power you have. But it's just that, as I said, we need to slowly become aware of it. And so معرفت نور القلب التوحید حیات النفس. Another one, it says that حالا very interesting. I know we have to go to the Q&A, but there's just a few things I feel bad not sharing with you. These are so beautiful. These are the thing that keeps me going, and I feel terrible not sharing it. So if it's okay, I'll share a little bit more and then we'll go to the Q&A. It's just, God, the reality of this world is so beautiful, you know. Sometimes I think it's such a shame to tell people you have to be good. You have to do the right thing, you know. It's like we're forcing people to think that they have to do something that they don't want. I know you don't want to do that, but you have to do this. No, Aslan, forget about do's and don'ts. Just tell them about the reality of the world. The reality of the world, forget about do's and don'ts, is that you're so special and you can feel that. You're so connected. You can feel so much love. Do you want to see that or not? Forget about do's and don'ts, or you have to do that to be a good person. Yeah, but who cares I want to be a good person or not? I just want to feel loved. I want to feel God's presence. And you can, right? As this is how we should talk to each other. Who cares if it's there's so much out there. There's so much out there that we can experience. Oh, sorry, I just got so passionate. Calm down, Sheikh. Have some water. Relax, Sheikh. So, just one last thing. There's two hadiths from Imam Ali very similar, and now I think we're ready to understand a little bit of it. The first week when I spoke about it, we were not ready yet, but I think tonight we may be ready. One hadith says, please come with me. Let me see, how can I show my fingers? Maybe like this. Al-ma'rifatu nurul qalb. Self-knowledge. Well, Imam in another hadith explains why ma'rifah is ma'rifatun nafs. We'll get to that. So don't say why ma'rifah is self-knowledge. It's another hadith explains it. So al-ma'rifah nurul qalb. This one is discussed. That having self-knowledge turns a light on in your heart and you start seeing yourself and so many other things. There is another one that says Tawheed at-Tawheed hayatun nafs. Tawheed hayatun nafs. The other one said Ma'rifah nurul qalb, Tawheed hayatun nafs. And when our scholars explain this hadith by Imam Ali, they say, see, this ma'rifah that turns on a light inside your heart, this ma'rifah, self-knowledge, is the same as God coming into you, right? Because it's a light, it's a nur. What was nur? Here it says, I have cheat code with me. Allahu nuru samawati wal arz. So the more you gain self-knowledge, the more you bring God's presence within you. Or at least you feel it more. Because nur is gone. Allahu nuru samawati wal arz. The more you reflect on your soul, on who you are, the more you feel God's presence within you. Why is that? How come by understanding myself, I become aware of God? Well, first of all, because your eyes open and you get to see. And secondly, because your soul is nothing other than a divine gift. وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. God says, into every single one of you, I blown from my own spirit. مِنْ رُوحِي. Right? So every one of us, we're a gift from God to ourselves. Right? The soul is a gift from God. So by becoming aware of the soul, you become aware of God. So ma'rifah nurul qalb, as you understand and have self-knowledge, it's like you start seeing everywhere more. That thing which allows you to see is God. Nur is God. So God's presence comes into your soul more. So it's so interesting. You see that at this point, ma'rifatun nafs, understanding yourself, and the presence of God are almost identical. Right? In other words, you use God's light to look at yourself. Although I don't know how to explain it right now. The more you look at your soul, the more you find God. This is Man arafa nafsah faqad arafa rabbah. We'll get to that later on. So Imam has one hadith, al-ma'rifah nurul qalb. The other one says at-tawheed hayatun nafs. حالا the more you try to pay attention to this, the more God comes to you, the more you go towards Tawheed, because God's presence is more in you. And then it's also hayatun nafs. So not only your nafs will grow and you will start seeing more, but the Imam says it's as if you start becoming alive. Yani hayatun nafs. It's yani he wants to explain what does it mean that you start seeing. He says, Bibin, you will start seeing so much more, experience so much more, that when you compare yourself to previous states when you didn't know your soul, when you were not curious about it, it's as if you were not even alive, right? In the same way that masalan, and you know, hello, even we in our own day-to-day life, sometimes we feel a little bit more alive, right? So alhamdulillah, we've got that idea. What does it mean I'm not alive? Obviously I'm alive, I'm breathing. Imam says, no, breathing is not you being alive. Breathing is the body being alive. You could be a soul who's still not woken up, who's still not alive, in a body that's alive, right? And we even feel it. Masalan, sometimes we go somewhere where certain people are like, oh, I feel alive today. I feel a little bit more alive. Oh, right? And if you look at a lot of adults, you feel like they're not really alive. They're running. The body is working. The body is on coffee and caffeine. The body is working. But there's no spirit there. There's no sparkle in their eyes. There's no joy there, right? Imam says, yes, that happens because you've forgotten you're the soul. You keep taking care of the body, and we're not even taking care of the body care. We just keep giving it coffee to work. You know, poor thing, this body. We just give it coffee and work. Coffee and work. So Imam says the more you start paying attention to the self, you'll start realizing, oh my God, I wasn't alive all this time. There's so much more life in it. I can live at such a higher level, such a higher frequency. I hate using that word frequency, but I had to, I'm sorry. And so Imam says, Al-Ma'rifatu Nur al-Qalb, Al-Tawhidu Hayatun Nafs. The more you understand yourself, the more you understand God. And as that comes, you become alive. You look back and you realize, oh my God, I was living my life through fear, through doubts. It was so dark, you know. And the soul of many of us inside is like this. You know, we're so insecure. We're so lonely. We're so sad. So many people don't even talk to their family members about what they're going through, right? Or masalan, a lot of people, I've seen adults, uni professors, they go to a meeting, a conference, as soon as they come to the room, it's like their soul is like that. No matter how good they look, how lovely their tie is. No, they go to a meeting, they're like, what should I say not to be judged? You know, it's like we're all a baby inside the body. The soul is like a baby, so worried. Oh, what if they say something about me? What if they say something mean? What if they don't like my paper? What if they don't, you know, what if I'm not a good mom? What if I'm not a good husband? We're living with so much doubt. Am I good at this? Am I bad at that? Will that leave me? I want to talk to someone. I feel so lonely. No, you don't share your feelings. You know, don't be too sensitive. It's a mess. It's a mess inside. The soul is really but the more we take care of it, the more we pay attention to it, the more it becomes alive. You know, we'll be so much happier, calmer, freer, feel more loved. And hala inshallah, maybe next week or some other week, we'll talk about please say it, the link between self-knowledge and Tawheed. There's another beautiful hadith by Imam Ali. It says, Man arafa Allah tawahhada. The one who, Man arafa nafsah. Man arafa nafsah tawahhada. The one who knows their soul, their self, gets this quality of Tawheed, which is so interesting. Tawahhada, they become unified. Inshallah, we'll talk about all of this next week or the future weeks.